Today, I want to talk about where real estate is heading and why the old way of doing business is no longer enough. For years, agents were taught to protect commissions, chase leads, and sell themselves harder than everyone else. But consumers have changed. Technology has changed. Expectations have changed. The modern client wants transparency, flexibility, and real guidance. They do not want pressure. They want options. This presentation is about building a new kind of real estate professional. One who acts more like an advisor than a salesperson. Someone who educates, explains, and helps people make smart decisions. That is what open access consultations are all about. This is Steve Koleno, and this is Confidential Remarks. This shows the biggest shift happening in real estate right now. The traditional salesperson acted like a gatekeeper. Their job was to control information and protect the commission. A lot of the process relied on pressure tactics and personal branding. But the modern advisor plays a completely different role. Instead of being a gatekeeper, they become a guide. Instead of defending commissions, they focus on creating value. Instead of forcing one solution, they give consumers choices and clear options. The important thing here is trust. Consumers trust people who educate them, not people who pressure them. The future belongs to advisors who simplify the process, explain the numbers honestly, and help clients feel confident in their decisions. For a long time, real estate was treated like a one-size-fits-all service. But consumers do not all want the same thing anymore. Some people want to save money and handle parts of the process themselves. Others want advice and support, but not full service management. And some clients still want complete high-level execution from start to finish. That is why this framework matters. Tier 1 is access. It gives clients basic tools and simple support. Tier 2 is advisory. That is where strategy, pricing, help, and negotiation support come in. Tier 3 is execution. That is the full service experience with marketing, coordination, and hands-on management. The future is not about discount versus full service. The future is about consumer choice. When clients feel like they're choosing the level of support that fits them best, trust immediately goes up. This is the core consultation framework. The goal is to stop selling and start guiding. First, we diagnose the seller's real goal. Second, we show them the different paths available to them. Third, we walk through the actual numbers with full transparency. Fourth, we explain how exposure and marketing really work in today's market. And finally, we let the client choose the option they feel most comfortable with. This process completely changes the relationship between the advisor and the consumer. Instead of feeling pressured, the client feels informed. Instead of being sold to, they feel understood. The first step is not talking about commissions or services. The first step is understanding what the seller actually cares about most. Some sellers want the highest possible price. Others care more about speed, certainty, privacy, or reducing stress. If we assume every seller wants the exact same thing, we miss what really matters to them. That is why great advisors ask questions first. They diagnose the situation before offering solutions. When a client feels heard and understood, resistance goes down immediately. People trust professionals who listen before they speak. This step is about giving people options instead of pushing one package. Here, we present 3 clear paths. The first path is access, which focuses on simple tools and lower costs. The second path is advisory support, where the client receives strategy and guidance. The third path is full execution, where the advisor handles everything from start to finish. What makes this powerful is that the consumer stays in control. The advisor is no longer trying to force a commission structure. Instead, they are helping the client choose what works best for their goals and budget. That changes the entire conversation. The moment people feel they have choices, trust increases dramatically. One of the biggest reasons consumers become skeptical is because they feel like costs are hidden or unclear. That is why transparency matters so much. In this step, we openly walk through the numbers. We compare traditional commissions, flat fee options, hybrid advisory models, and possible savings. Nothing is hidden. Everything is explained clearly. When consumers can actually see the math, fear and skepticism start to disappear. Transparency builds credibility. And in today's market, credibility is one of the most valuable things an advisor can have. A lot of agents still talk about exposure like it depends only on their personal network. But today, exposure is driven by systems, platforms, and data. Buyers find homes through MLS systems, online portals, social media algorithms, targeted advertising, and digital search behavior. The modern advisor understands how all of these channels work together. This changes the conversation from "I know people" to "I understand market architecture." That is a much stronger position because it is based on strategy instead of ego. Consumers want to know their property will be seen by the right buyers in the right places. This step helps them understand exactly how that happens. This step may seem simple, but it is one of the most powerful parts of the entire process. After educating the client, explaining the options, and walking through the numbers, we let them decide. There is no pressure, no forcing, no manipulation. And interestingly, that often increases trust even more. People naturally move toward professionals who make them feel respected and in control. The advisor is not selling one package anymore. They are helping the client make the best decision for themselves. That creates a completely different experience and a much stronger long-term relationship. The buy side of real estate is changing fast. In the past, many agents focused mostly on opening doors and showing properties. But today, buyers can already see homes online before ever meeting an agent. So the real value has shifted. The modern advisor provides data, negotiation strategy, market analysis, and decision-making support. They help buyers understand pricing trends, risks, opportunities, and long-term value. In other words, the advisor becomes a source of intelligence instead of just access. That is where the future of buyer representation is heading. This framework shows the different ways advisors help buyers make smarter decisions. First, there is compensation transparency, where buyers clearly understand fees and costs upfront. Second, there is negotiation strategy, which helps buyers structure stronger offers and negotiate better outcomes. Third, there is objective evaluation. This means using data and facts instead of emotional decision-making. Fourth, advisors help buyers avoid overpaying and understand long-term risks. And finally, they help clients navigate conflicts and make wise representation choices. The modern advisor is not just there to unlock homes. They are there to protect the client's interest at every stage of the process. The future winners in real estate will not be the loudest people in the market. They will be the clearest. Consumers are overwhelmed with information and skeptical of pressure tactics. They are looking for professionals they can actually trust. That trust comes from transparency, clear pricing, clear service options, honest communication, ethical marketing, and data-backed advice. When advisors consistently operate this way, they stop competing on hype and start building long-term credibility. Transparency is no longer optional. It is becoming the new professional standard. The old real estate model focused on chasing leads, defending commissions, and hoping for transactions. But the modern advisor focuses on something much more powerful. They build trust. They create choice. They simplify complicated decisions. And they use systems, transparency, and education to help consumers feel confident. That is the opportunity in front of the industry right now. The professionals who adapt to this shift will not just survive, they will become the trusted authorities consumers look for in a confusing market. This has been Confidential Remarks.